Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? I think we're live now. We are. Hi. Good morning and welcome to Morningstar Relief Mission's first ever Facebook live stream. I'm Michelle Hauser. I'm a member of the Morningstar Mission board, and I'm happy to be here today. This is a combined event, which is both a virtual celebration of the UN's International Day for the Eradication of Poverty, and it's also a celebration of Morningstar Relief Mission's partnership with the Community Foundation for Lennox and Addington. We have a panel. I'm going to introduce them in the order they'll speak. First of all, we have Kevin Alkenbrecht. He's the Executive Director of Morningstar Mission. And we have Bob Childs, and he's the Executive Director of the Community Foundation for Lennox and Addington. And you can't see him right now, he's off screen, but he'll join us in a minute. And sharing the screen with Kevin this morning is Steve Corrigal. He's a Morningstar Mission volunteer and a client who's going to share his experience about our mobile community meal program. So in more than a decade of service to Morningstar, having started as a volunteer back in 2009 and then joining as executive director in 2013, it's safe to say that Kevin Alkenbrecht has grown very familiar with the face of poverty in our community and the face of food insecurity. And I'd like to ask Kevin to say a few words.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks, Michelle. So this year, the economic impact of COVID-19 has brought greater attention than ever to poverty in Napanee and Lennox and Addington County. And so in Canada, when our policymakers talk about the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, and they need to take action to reduce and eventually eradicate poverty, they often talk about dignity, ensuring people's basic needs are met through healthcare, through safe and affordable housing and healthy food. And so this resonates for us for sure at Morningstar, as serving the vulnerable in our community by addressing food security has always been central to our mission. People cannot reach their potential without routine access to healthy meals. So the confidence that middle-class people have, knowing that from week to week, they'll have the means to access healthy food, is not universally shared. While we can't point to a single cause of food insecurity, we can point to a stark reality for low-income people. And that's that they're constantly worrying about not being able to afford food, skipping meals so that their children can eat, buying the cheapest, most unhealthy food just to fill themselves, or even going days without eating in order to cover other bills. But this is the situation for many of our people that we serve. And today we serve more of them than ever. Since March, Morningstar has been on the front lines of our community's response to the economic impact of COVID-19. And the increasing rates of food insecurity that we've seen. We've gone from serving 250 meals per week locally to serving nearly 1,300 meals county-wide through our mobile community meal program. Now, there's a lot of people to thank for helping us to scale up to meet those needs. And one of them is with us today. So I want to mark the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty by thanking Bob Childs and the Community Foundation for Lennox and Addington County. With grants totaling $17,117, the foundation helped us to rent a satellite kitchen at the Lions Club Hall, while our own kitchen was under renovation to bring it up to fire code. The Lions Hall has been the epicenter of this mobile community meal program, where more than 1,000 volunteer hours a month have built a critical, sustainable community response to this crisis. Grants from the Community Foundation have also helped us to increase our fridge and freezer capacity and build frozen meals into our operation. As you can see behind me, we have our beautiful freezer. And And so this fridge and freezer capacity and building frozen meals into our operation has been done with us partnering with community groups, churches, and social agencies who can in turn store and distribute our frozen meals. Without the ability to put large numbers of meals on ice, we would not have been able to expand the way that we have and go county-wide and reach the underserved rural communities the way that we are doing it right now. And a bonus of this grant too is that the fridge and freezer equipment will move with us to Water Street once our kitchen renovation is done. And so Bob, on behalf of everyone at Morningstar, our clients and our volunteers, I say thank you to the Community Foundation for Lennox and Addington.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm so glad to be here today with you. As you know, the UN Sustainable Development Goals, including the eradication of poverty, is very important to the Community Foundation for Lennox and Addington. At a local level, it's extremely important for us to understand the issues of food insecurity and how it's impacting people in our communities. Earlier this year, when the Government of Canada launched the Emergency Community Support Fund to improve the ability of community organizations to serve vulnerable Canadians during the COVID-19 crisis, we were glad to be among the Community Foundation's tasked with delivering these funds to organizations that were doing exactly what Morningstar Mission has done, stepping up and meeting the needs of people. We still don't know the full economic impact, but we do know that the COVID-19 pandemic has brought major changes to the financial stability of Canadians. This year, sadly, our discussion is less about the eradication of poverty and more about stemming the tide, the growing tide of poverty. And it's very important for us to realize and understand the full impact of one of the most significant side effects of poverty, and that's food insecurity, and the impact that's having on everyday people in our communities. In our 2019 Vital Signs report, we heard from the community outreach that community outreach and action on poverty is important, and that many people who reside in our communities are committed to doing something about that. That's why international days like this one are important. What might be just a symbolic date on the calendar is in fact an opportunity for us to have conversations and to achieve a greater understanding of poverty throughout our communities and its impacts. Only through understanding can we act. And we need to make time and take time to take stock and celebrate where we are making progress, especially during tough times of crisis when that can be hard to do. So on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Community Foundation for Lennox and Addington, I'm very proud of our partnership with Morningstar Mission. I'm glad to know that that investment has benefited the vulnerable people across LNA that you're serving. And it's really amazing to watch how quickly your organization has been able to pivot from providing sit-down meals to a very extensive food distribution organization that is meeting the needs of people throughout the county of Lennox and Addington. So I congratulate you on excellent work. I encourage you to keep up the good work. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Michelle.
Thank you, Bob, and thanks, Kevin. Building on the theme of celebrating success, which is a good thing to do on a day such as this, I want to introduce you to Steve Corrigal. Steve's a volunteer and a client at Morningstar, and he's going to share his firsthand perspective about the mobile community meal program and what it's meant to him.
COVID-19 hasn't been too bad for me in terms of spending a lot of time alone. I was a truck driver for 30 years. I drove coast to coast in Canada. I picked up and delivered at Gibbard's Furniture and always liked Napanee. When COVID hit, I secluded myself big time. I have asthma, COPD, MS. And the MS forced me to retire 5 years ago at 55. I expected to be able to work at least 10 years longer. Never anticipated living on such a low income. I'm divorced. I have children, but they don't live nearby. It's just me and Napanee. I guess I'm like a lot of people in this community who shoulder the cost of living on a low income alone. Because of my health risks, I really have to keep to myself during the pandemic. It was 2 months before I went out. And even now, I usually just go out for daily exercise. At first, it was costing me $35 to have my groceries picked up and delivered to my door. After paying rent, phone, fall safe device, there was just no money for paying that. Excuse me. I've been going to Morningstar Mission for almost 4 years. Saturday worship, men's breakfast, community meals. And before my MS got worse, I volunteered, washed tables, mopped floors, canned tomatoes, and even helped Kevin's mom paint the new bathroom. I can't do that now with the MS. My right hand doesn't work. My back and neck get sore. Standing and doing dishes is exhausting. I miss Morningstar and seeing friends, familiar faces. But this mobile community meal program has been a savior. It cuts out trips to the store. I eat healthy, even my vegetables, because I know they're good for me. Without this program, I would have to shop more, cook more, clean more, and MS makes all those things a struggle. These meals give me breathing room, physically and financially. I want to thank you, Kevin, for all that you do, and the Community Foundation for helping to fund this meal outreach. More than anyone, though, I want to thank Morningstar's volunteers. They are brave people. Right from the beginning of the pandemic, they were running around town, fearlessly delivering meals to homes and apartments. I'm looking forward to going back to the Morningstar when they're ready to fire up again. In the meantime, I'm grateful for today and for being as strong as I am because I eat properly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you. I want to acknowledge our viewers in the live stream. Thanks to everyone for joining us this morning and taking a time out on this Saturday to consider the impacts of poverty in our community, the challenges of food insecurity, and the power and potential that partnerships like this one have to help us touch individuals and weather the COVID-19 crisis in Greater Napanee and across the county. If anyone would like to support Morningstar Mission, visit morningstarmission.ca/donate or morningstarmission.ca/volunteer. We always need more volunteers. We also encourage you to consider visiting Community Foundation online, www.cffla.ca, and consider giving to their No Poverty 180-degree fund that was recently established. Thanks again, everyone, and enjoy this beautiful day, and we hope to see you again in another live stream soon. Bye-bye.